Imagine an animal that causes Europe to impose quarantines and close off entire districts. In the US, they offer a cash reward for its head. In large metropolises, they walk right out onto city streets in broad daylight and terrorize the residents. Farmers lose tons of harvest, and entire countries spend billions of dollars but cannot stop their invasion. And all of this was done by one beast, the regular wild boar. How is this even possible? We will talk about that exactly. Subscribe to the channel, it will be interesting. The wild boar is one of the most ancient beasts on the planet. Its history counts several million years. It survived ice ages, the extinction of entire species, and even living next to humans. Today, the wild boar lives on almost all continents, and it did not show up everywhere on its own. Initially, the wild boar lived in Europe, Asia, and North Africa. That was its native place. But then people came with ideas. Hunters and landowners decided that the boar is excellent game. They started transporting it to new places, specifically to arrange hunting. That is exactly when the story began that led to today's problems. Spanish settlers brought wild boars to North America back in the 16th century. At first, they were kept as domestic animals, but some of them escaped. And then in the 19th and 20th centuries, wealthy landowners specifically released boars on their lands for the sake of hunting. No one thought then how it would turn out. Boars were transported to Australia by people too. The first pigs sailed there with European colonists at the end of the 18th century. Some animals escaped into the wild and went feral. Today, more than 23 million wild pigs live on the continent. They cause billions of dollars in damage annually, and are considered one of the most dangerous invasive species in the world. So what is the secret to the success of this beast? It is simple. The boar is incredibly adapted to survival. It eats practically everything. Roots, acorns, mushrooms, small animals, bird eggs, carrion, grain, and even trash. Such an omnivorous diet makes it almost invulnerable to hunger. Wherever it ends up, it will find food for itself. The boar is not afraid of the cold or the heat. It feels equally well in a dense forest, in a swamp, in a prairie, and even in the suburb of a large city. Its thick bristles and heavy layer of subcutaneous fat protect it from freezing temperatures, and the ability to quickly dig the earth helps it find food even under the snow in the winter. The intelligence of the boar deserves special attention. Scientists found out a long time ago that pigs, the closest relatives of boars, are not inferior to dogs and even some primates in intelligence. Wild boars know how to avoid traps, remember dangerous places, and quickly change their behaviour if they sense a threat. Hunters know outsmarting an old hog is very difficult. The sense of smell of a boar is thousands of times sharper than a human one. It smells a human from several hundred meters away. Its hearing is brilliant too. However, its eyesight is quite weak, especially at a long distance. But in the twilight and at night, the boar navigates perfectly. It shows the majority of its activity specifically during the dark hours of the day, which makes it unnoticeable to people. Boars reproduce with astonishing speed. A female is capable of bringing her first litter as early as the age of 1 year. There are from 4 to 12 piglets in one litter, and so twice a year under favourable conditions. The math is simple. One female in several years can give a start to an entire herd of several dozen individuals. That is exactly why the boar population is growing so fast that no amount of hunting can manage to keep it in check. In Germany, for example, hunters harvest more than 1 million boars a year, but their overall number still continues to grow. According to some estimates, to stop the population growth, it is necessary to shoot more than half of all individuals annually. In Europe today live from 6 to 10 million wild boars. This is more than ever in the entire history of observations. Over the last 30 years, their numbers grew several times over. There are several reasons. Mild winters because of climate change, the abundance of cornfields, and the decline in the number of natural predators such as wolves. In the US, the situation is even more serious. From 6 to 9 million wild pigs are counted there, which locals call wild boars or invasive swine. They spread across 35 states. There are particularly many of them in Texas, Florida, Georgia, and California. The damage from them is estimated at $1.5 billion annually just in agriculture. What exactly do they ruin? First of all, the fields. The boar digs the earth with its powerful snout in search of roots and grubs. After its visit, the field looks like a tractor has driven over it. Plantings of corn, wheat, soybeans, potatoes are damaged. One small herd in a single night is capable of destroying several acres of harvest. Besides fields, forests and pastures suffer. Boars dig up tree roots, disrupt the soil cover, trample young shoots. In places where there are especially many boars, the forest begins to get sick. Rare plants disappear. The ecology of entire territories is ruined. Recovery takes years. A no less serious problem, boars destroy roads and dams. They dig burrows and tunnels under embankments, which leads to soil settling. In the US, cases were recorded when small dams and drainage systems were destroyed because of boar tunnels. The cost of repairs sometimes was measured in hundreds of thousands of dollars. Cities are also not saved. Boars stopped being afraid of humans a long time ago and started venturing into suburbs and even into the centre of large cities. In Berlin, boars regularly appear in residential blocks. In Barcelona, they come out on the streets at night and dig through garbage cans. In Rome, Italy, entire families of boars stroll through the parks. In the countries of the former USSR, boars also became a problem a long time ago. They enter orchards and vegetable gardens, ruin fruit trees, and eat the harvest. Villagers complain about destroyed plantings of potatoes and beets. In some districts, local authorities are forced to organise special raids to scare the animals away. Are boars dangerous for people directly? Yes, and very much so. An adult male weighs from 100 to 200 kilograms, and sometimes more. He is armed with sharp tusks up to 20 centimetres long. A wounded or frightened boar attacks without warning. Every year, dozens of cases of boar attacks on people are recorded in the world, some with a lethal outcome. A female with piglets is uniquely dangerous. It seems like a small animal, but the maternal instinct makes her extremely aggressive. She lunges at everything that gets close to her babies. In the woods or in a field, a meeting with such a family can end very badly if you do not retreat in time. Boars are also carriers of many diseases. Among them are swine fever, brucellosis, trichinosis, leptospirosis, and others. African swine fever causes taking particular alarm. This viral disease is not dangerous to people, but it is fatal to domestic pigs. Outbreaks of this disease, which wild boars carry around, already killed millions of heads of livestock in Europe and Asia. The outbreak of African swine fever in China in 2018 became a true disaster. More than 100 million pigs were destroyed, which led to a sharp rise in pork prices all over the world. Wild boars played a key role in spreading the disease, carrying the virus across country borders. It would seem, here is the solution to all problems. Since there are so many boars, why not just eat their meat? After all, these are whole herds of free protein running by themselves through the fields and forests. The logic is clear, but in practice, things are way more complicated. Wild boar meat is indeed edible and tasty. Hunters and gourmets value it. However, mass consumption of it as food is fraught with serious difficulties. First of all, the wild boar can be infected with parasites and diseases. The meat requires mandatory inspection and proper thermal processing. Otherwise, a person risks getting infected with trichinosis, a dangerous parasitic disease. Harvesting a wild boar. This is not the same as a trip to the supermarket. You need hunters, licenses, weapons, transportation, refrigeration capabilities for storing carcasses. This is expensive and labour-intensive. The industrial processing of wild meat requires special veterinary permissions. Not every plant takes this on, because quality control here is much stricter than for regular pork. There is yet another reason why wild meat did not become a mass product. The taste and composition of wild boar meat firmly depend on what it ate and how old it is. An old male can have very tough and sharp-smelling meat, which few will want to eat. Young individuals are tastier, but try to catch them first. Nevertheless, in some regions, boar hunting has become a real trade. In Germany and France, game from wild boar regularly shows up in restaurants and stores. In Texas, there are operating commercial farms for trapping and processing wild pigs. The meat is sold in stores under the brand Wild Pork. The demand is there, but to cover all the damage from boars with it is impossible. What do authorities do to deal with the boar invasion? The methods are numerous, and not one of them is perfect. The first and most obvious, this is hunting. In many countries, preferential licenses are introduced, hunting seasons are extended, limits on the harvest amount are removed. Hunters are encouraged and sometimes even paid for each harvested boar. In Texas, they went even further. Over there, hunting boars from a helicopter is permitted. Special crews fly over fields and forests and shoot the animals from the air. In one such raid, they managed to harvest several dozen individuals. It is expensive but effective on large open territories. Some companies even offer tourists such hunts for money. Traps and snares, another popular method. In the US, large cage traps are widely used, into which boars enter for bait. You can catch several animals in there at once. The so-called Judas boar is especially effective, meaning a specially trained animal that brings an entire herd into the trap. The method is cruel, but efficient. Fences, one of the most expensive but reliable methods of protection. Electric enclosures are set up around valuable agricultural properties. A boar gets a light electric shock and remembers this place as dangerous. The downside of this method is in the high cost of installation and maintenance. Not every farmer can afford this. Scientists are working on more modern ways of population control. Particularly, methods of immunocontraception are being studied, meaning special vaccines that lower the fertility of females. In the US, baits with a contraceptive drug are already being tested. So far, the results are mixed. The drug works, but to cover the entire population is extremely hard. Another interesting approach, the use of natural predators. Where wolves and lynxes return to the forests, the number of boars goes down. In Europe, the restoration of wolf populations in Germany, Poland, and Spain already showed a noticeable effect. Predators not only kill boars, but also change their behaviour, forcing them to come out into the open areas less often. But returning predators cannot be done everywhere. In densely populated regions, wolves become a threat to domestic livestock and to people themselves. Therefore, authorities have to look for a balance between protection from boars and protection from wolves. The task is not easy, and they solve it differently in every country. In Japan, the problem with boars also stands sharply. After many villages emptied out due to the outflow of youth to the cities, the fields were abandoned, and boars mastered these territories. Now they regularly walk into the residential blocks of small towns. Japanese authorities have to spend hundreds of millions of yen on population control programs. In South Korea, wild boars became a true headache for the capital region. They climb onto mountain slopes right within the city limits of Seoul and come down into residential neighborhoods looking for food. Several people have already suffered from attacks. City authorities installed traps and conduct constant monitoring of the population. Interestingly, in some countries, boars started being used in tourism. In Finland and Sweden, they organise safaris for wild boars with a camera. Tourists pay considerable money to watch the animals in the wild. This gives local communities extra income and changes the attitude towards boars, turning them from pests into a resource. An entertaining fact, wild boars know how to swim, and very well at that. They easily cross rivers several kilometres wide. That is exactly why water barriers do not stop their spread. In some cases, boars swam their way to small islands where nobody brought them. They just came swimming themselves. Another amazing fact, wild boars possess a highly complex social structure. The herd is led by an experienced old female. She remembers the location of water sources, feeding grounds, and dangerous places. Young males live separately and join the herd only during the mating period. These are not just beasts, this is an organised community. Boar males use their tusks not just for protection, but also to mark territory. They rub against trees, leaving marks and smell on the bark. Such trees are called rubbing posts. An experienced hunter can determine the size of the beast and how long ago it visited by looking at them. This is an entire communication system that people are only just starting to understand. Boars take mud baths not for the sake of fun. Mud protects their skin from parasites, insects, and sunburns. After a mud bath, a boar inevitably rubs on a tree, scraping off the dried crust along with ticks and fleas. This is a real natural spa that works without any chemicals. Boar piglets are born with a striped coloration. These stripes, great camouflage in the forest litter. After a few months, the stripes disappear and the hide becomes solid in colour. Piglets are very attached to their mother and stick around her for the first 6 months of life. A touching picture, but you should not forget that the mother protecting them is always nearby. Despite all the problems, the wild boar plays an important role in the ecosystem. Digging up the soil, it aerates it and promotes the growth of new plants. Eating acorns and seeds, it participates in spreading trees. Its corpses serve as food for scavengers. In the natural balance, it occupies its place, and nobody intends to wipe it out completely. The problem is not in the boar itself, but in the fact that man disrupted the natural balance. Bringing animals where they had not been, wiping out predators, planting huge fields with mass crops. People created the conditions for the explosive growth of the population themselves. Now they have to spend massive resources to fix the consequences of their very own mistakes. Today, scientists, farmers, and officials all over the world look for a comprehensive solution to the wild boar issue. There is no single recipe. Somewhere hunting helps, somewhere fences, somewhere predators, somewhere traps. Most often you have to use multiple methods at the same time. And the main thing, to do this constantly, without breaks, because boars do not slumber. The story of the wild boar. This is a story about how nature knows how to adapt, and about how underestimating one species can lead to monumental consequences. This beast lived through millions of years of evolution and has no intention of conceding to humans. It is smart, strong, prolific, and absolutely merciless in the fight for survival. If this was interesting to you, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Write in the comments, have you ever met a wild boar or heard stories about its invasions in your region? Your opinion is very important to us.